Before I show you a little shit hit the fan gun I purchased for $100, I'd like to just say a quick word about firearm safety. And basically there's four cardinal rules to gun safety. Anybody who's handling a gun should know these four rules and respect the four rules, and to the best of their ability always carry out the four rules. One is treat every gun like it's loaded. That's pretty self-explanatory, and the consequences of not doing so is self-evident, I hope. Number two, it's don't point the muzzle at anything that you don't want to kill. Number three, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. And what that means is when you're just holding a gun or you're carrying it and you're not ready, you haven't entered combat, or you're not ready to bag an animal, then you should have your finger in the ready position, and which is basically off the trigger. More about that maybe on a different video, or I can refer you to maybe in the video notes I'll leave a good recommendation for a safety course. Number four is be sure of your target and also what's beyond your target. So you want to make sure that you don't shoot something or someone who shouldn't be shot, and moreover, even if you shoot the bad guy or you shoot a game animal, you want to understand that that bullet may travel through the game animal and on down and actually strike something else. There's going to have to be a backstop somewhere. So you don't want to shoot unless you know that you're absolutely safe in doing so. You know, I should say right here, I do have a recommendation. And for further safety guidance, I would highly recommend you watch a YouTube video. It's titled This Little Bullet, and it's narrated by the legendary John Wayne. If you haven't seen it, it's, I don't know, 15 minutes of your time, and it's 15 minutes of your time well spent. So, the little gun that I purchased, we used to call them Saturday night specials. And I got it for $100 from a young man. And his grandfather had died, and part of the will of the granddad was that the grandkids got some of his gun collection. Now the grandfather, unbeknownst, I don't think the grandson knew, but this gun was totally reworked. I mean, it was reconditioned, and quite frankly, I'd rather have this gun, this used gun, older gun, more than I would buy a brand new gun. Because I think this is better quality, and I've shot it. It's highly accurate. It's got it's a 9-shot. So for $100, I know probably some of you might be rolling your eyes who are gun enthusiasts or know something about guns, and you're thinking, well, what, you know, for shit hit the fan, what is a 22? Well, I'm a native New Yorker, country boy New Yorker, not a native New York City New Yorker, even though I've spent a lot of time there because I have family there. And these little Saturday night specials, back when I was growing up, they took more lives than anything else. So I know how deadly they are, especially at close range. You can shoot off without any kick. I mean, you can shoot off 3 of these in the blink of an eye. So they have their advantages. If you're hunting, I mean, you can actually kill all kinds of small game with this firearm. It's suitable to kill any small game animal, and moreover, you could kill a deer with this. I've killed a deer with the .22 caliber before. Okay, so it can be done, and if if you had to do it, it's not legal to do as far as I know in any state now. But let's say you had to do it, the shit hit the fan, this is your only gun, you're a poor person, you could only afford to go out and get this gun for $100 and it's all you had, and now you have to go out and hunt with it. Well, I can tell you as a former hunting guide, the best way to use this particular firearm would be to make it what's called a tree stand. You climb up, you find where there's a deer trail, or where there's a lot of activity, maybe where they're coming to get a drink in the stream, or something where there's a lot of activity. And if you can find a really good deer trail and there's a tree overhanging it, and you can get up there and build a little platform and then just sit up there quietly for hours, that's the best way. And then when a deer walks under your tree, just unload the whole gun in him. Okay? Don't take a shot and let him run. Just keep firing the thing, and chances are you do that, you take my advice, and you're going to have venison that evening. So don't underestimate a little $100 gun if it's the only thing that you can afford. Now, well, I'm on the subject of guns. I'm not going to go too deeply into this. There's a lot of good gun channels. I'm just trying to make a video to help out the man who's trying to get started in prepping, or maybe the person that doesn't have a lot of money. But I will mention a couple of things. If you're up in Alaska, like I've been alone in Alaska, my nearest neighbor was 15 miles. He was my personal friend, and he was a registered hunting guide. Because of the brown bears and the grizzlies, I carried this particular firearm just about wherever I went. And it's the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Highly recommend that gun right off the shelf. You don't even have to modify it. From a safety perspective, I kind of like the car carry is the governor. It's a good gun, a reliable gun, a wheel gun. And you'll notice I have wheel guns out here. Once again, for somebody who's a beginner, wheel guns are good guns. Well, why is that? It's basically because if there's a misfire, you don't have to monkey around with the action. You can just keep pulling the trigger. And so that's the main advantage of having a wheel gun over a semi-automatic. So the last gun I want to mention is the shotgun. And the Mossberg 88, I've had that gun now for years. I've beat the living daylights out of it. Abused it. It's been a great gun. It cost me, I think it was $129 on sale. And I think they're a little more expensive now, but if I could only have one gun, it would be the Mossberg 88. And if, and I didn't have a lot of money to spend, say under $200, I get the Mossberg 88. And then if I could get another gun, I'd get another Mossberg 88, just so I had two of them in case one malfunctioned and I had to use one for parts. So you see what my recommendations are. If you must get a gun that's a semi-automatic and you're new to guns, why, I would recommend my personal choice. It's the Glock with a high capacity clip. I like the Glock 17, frankly. Some people would disagree, but I found it, after shooting thousands and thousands of rounds, I found this to be one of the most reliable guns in the world. As far as rifles go, you can get good rifles chambered 308, 308, 3006, 223. I even have some AK-47s in 223. I like 223 caliber. For long range, big game, my absolute favorite is the 300 Magnum, you know, Weatherby 300 Magnum. There are more expensive guns that are better, but for the money, that's probably, you know, when you're ready and you have more money to spend, that is probably should be on your list as well. So, in conclusion, I'd like to just recommend to new preppers to take advantage of the market by acquiring guns, clips, and ammunition at the bargain prices that we have now. And, you know, I know because Trump was elected president and not the gun grabber Hillary, now is actually a good time to purchase guns and ammunition in America. Why? Because fear of a gun grab has subsided. And this has resulted in an oversupply in the firearms market. It's now a buyer's market, and many good deals can be made. So just like I did with this little 22. So that's it for now, and perhaps I'll do another gun video later on and show some of maybe a battle rifle and some of the other rifles. But for now, let's just call it a day here. And thanks for tuning in. And as I said earlier in my other videos, I'll be heading up to the Grand Canyon soon, and I'll be producing some more videos up there. So stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later.